Hey everybody, Moo here. As you guys probably already know, Ralph has been released to the international servers. As you can see, we got him to SL3 because 3 comes before 6 and we have to do the SL3 gameplay video first. And as you guys already probably expected, the 5 to 400 coin booster are enabled so we can kind of gauge his coin earning potential at SL3. The experience is there just for me to level up a little bit quicker. And what can I tell you about Ralph? I played him to level 6. There's a few things I've discovered about his ability as a result. Some are good, some are bad. The bad are a little bit frustrating because we have become relatively accustomed to vertical clearers working a certain way and he doesn't really follow that pattern, but we'll get into that in just a second. Let me start with the good first. Always the good first. The dessert before dinner. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, the good. He clears magic bubbles. And generally, that's not a common trait for vertical clears, and there's a number of reasons why you would want that. One, it automatically makes him a relatively strong score getter because what you can do is you save your score bubbles in the general area where the ability hits, and then when you clear the Tsum Tsum with the ability and the magic bubble gets attached to that, well, obviously you're going to get a much higher score as a result of that score multiplier getting added to a much larger number of Tsum Tsum than just manually popping the bubble and only hitting maybe 9 or 10 Tsum Tsum with it. And speaking of popping bubbles, when you have a Tsum whose ability already clears bubbles, that saves you time, and time is money and score in this game. So at SL3, this isn't going to be a big issue because you're not going to have a lot of bubbles and you're probably not going to be using the bubble booster at SL3, but this might become an issue at SL6. And by the virtue of his ability clearing those bubbles for you, you don't have to tap them manually one by one, which again wastes time and wastes coin and score as a result. So it's always a nice bonus, and in some cases, like Maleficent Dragon, it makes all of the difference as far as getting ridiculous results. So very good in that regard. And now, what about the bad? Well, if you guys remember when I did my basically preview video for this month, I mentioned that you can use vertical clears in a certain way, which kind of abuses their mechanics to get more better results from them, namely the vertical clearing trick, which essentially means that if you have a bunch of bubbles on screen and you pop the whole screen, well, you don't have to wait for the Tsum Tsum to populate the playing area again because the magic bubbles reset the respawn. And if you pop the skill immediately after popping a bubble, you will hit all the Tsum Tsum off screen. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to work for Ralph, at least not at SL3. Maybe his ability doesn't hit wide enough or high enough. We'll have to see once we get to SL6. But I've tried it a number of times where I saved a bunch of bubbles. I popped a bunch of them and it left me with most of the screen empty. I expected to hit for the same number or more after using the ability because I reset the screen and the Tsum Tsum were at the top of the screen, but it didn't. It hit for 10. He normally hits for the mid-20s, 25, 26, sometimes 30 if you have a large Tsum Tsum on screen. So that's kind of a big drawback. Be aware of that and make sure you have enough Tsum Tsum populating the playing area when you use that ability. Otherwise, it's not going to hit for very much. And I'm really, really hoping that this gets remedied when we do get him to SL6, but that remains to be seen. Anyways, check out this video. 210 My Tsum cleared. Very average results. Good score. Decent coin. Of course, at SL6, we're hoping to see much, much better numbers from him. But again, check out the video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that in the comment section below. And as always, thank you so much for your likes, your subs, and your viewership. I'll see you guys next time.